Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Sports memorabilia, movie posters, rock and roll. Get top dollar for your collection. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
How many DUIs did the Dailies get? They've been drunk since 1969. Anybody? No, Dave. I'm going to tell you the difference. Mayor in Naples, Florida, where I live. Teresa Heitman. She was on video ringing a doorbell, drunk as a pig, in 2024. I forget the month. So the police get called. Now, this is the mayor. Arrest her immediately. Keep her in the tank, in the cell, for a day and a half, 2 days before she gets out on Monday. Gets out, I'm innocent, all the same bull dung. Take her right to trial. She pleads guilty, and they suspend her license for a year and a half. She puts up, the fine is $25,000. Year and a half, right? So now she's in the mayor's office. Well, guy knocks on the door. Pee in the cup. Pees in the cup. She's got cannabis in her urine. Hook her again. Back to jail. Now, she couldn't get elected if her sister was the only voter in this town. Gone. She's done. They're doing a petition right now. Pull her out. That's where you want to live. When law is equal for everybody. The idea you even tolerate it. Well, that's the Chicago way. You got clout. You got a guy. Corey in Woodlawn.
Hey, Shaun, the only sad thing is, I do real estate, you do real estate. I've had a license for 20 years, and it's so sad to see the architect that these guys built in the 1800s, early 1900s go to waste. It's so sad. Oh, I know I've got to leave, Shaun, but these buildings were built so beautifully. They spared no expense. I'd hate to leave these neighborhoods like this. I really would, Shaun.
Did you hear, Corey, Ken Griffin? In the he got the headlines right with the Mondomni and all the rest, but did you hear what he talked about Illinois? Did you hear it? Mm-hmm. It's absolutely fantastic. He talks about what it's like. Now, here's a guy that makes billions, right? But he made his money. And they ask him, what's it like? He says, it's like being a salmon swimming upstream and you never get there. I had to leave. And that, to me, is exactly what it was like. Exactly what it was like. Because of this kind of stuff. And how many guys have to put up with their kids that, you're always a dad, right? All of a sudden your kid calls you up, I got a DUI, and then what, 30,000, 10,000, whatever the hell it is, the kid loses their license and all. Here, if you got enough clout, you could bang off of cars of innocent people. I didn't do it. The Bart Simpson. And that's a disgrace. You cannot live around that kind of corruption unless you're corrupt. Now, if you're corrupt, wait for your turn. And then you pull the Samantha Steele card. Hey, remember that broad? Yeah, I want that. I want that Samantha Steele deal. Give me that crooked judge out of retirement. Thank you, Corey. I appreciate the call.
Thanks, Shaun.
Thank you. And here's what we were talking
about. He's making it really clear. New York doesn't welcome success. Are these states trying to push away from their populations those who really do believe in the merits of capitalism, the merits of a free society, the importance of education?
Now, I really like what he's saying. I was hard on him when he gave his money to those morons that packed that other idiot. Speaking of another idiot, the Republican, the hell was his name from Aurora? Little Dick Irving, Richard Irving. And he did the same thing, the drunk girlfriend in the pot dispensary, same thing. So I was hard on him. But the more I hear him talk, because what he should have added here, and then he could run for president, the absence of law enforcement. If he would have just added that could have been the presidential campaign speech right there.
To me, it feels like Illinois has been very successful with this undertaking. If you've opposed J.B. Pritzker, you probably left by now. You've had enough. It's just not worth it every day. What did it feel like in Chicago with J.B. Pritzker as governor? It felt like being a salmon swimming upstream to die.
That's nice. Why? That's a nice image. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, isn't that a nice way to end today?
Yeah.
But it felt like pointlessly hopeless. Now, the great news is most of my friends from Chicago are now my friends in Miami.
And it was interesting because we've been covering the story of the people in very bad neighborhoods, ghettos, where their home value is nothing. The criminals have taken over blocks and blocks. It's like a prison without bars. And we've talked about the water bills. which makes 0 sense. Unless, of course, you're trying to steal the people's money. Then it makes perfect sense. Well, all of a sudden, this got a little play. I don't know why. It hasn't been since the first time they wanted people to pay a water bill with a comma. That means the entity, by the way, all of this entitlement stuff except water, the one thing we all need, you're not entitled to that. You'll pay out the wazoo for it. And in these Democrat dungholes, they tax the water that they don't own, that they sell. And they make up the numbers based on how much money they're short.
Poor communication and data errors between two city departments leads to massive inaccurate water bills and unexplained spikes in billing.
Those were just...
Whoa. Hey, Democrat morons, didn't you just use that excuse for the property taxes? It was the same thing, right? One hand didn't talk to the other hand, and you're busy, and then you got Pappas has her loud shirt on and confusing the low IQ workers. Wasn't that what you used for the taxes? You're going to use it for the water? Why not? Stick with a winner. Do the Sam Steele. I didn't do it.
Some of the findings in a new audit released by the Chicago Office of Inspector General. Suzanne Lemagneau joins us now from the newsroom to look at what the audit uncovered. Suzanne?
Joe, Erica, the OIG says the Department of Finance and Department of Water Management were not consistently sharing information about faulty meters, estimated bills, or account adjustments, leaving some customers with huge spikes in their water bills.
The range of that was from approximately $1,000 to one case study where the individual, the spike was approximately $23,000.
No, it isn't. All these entitlements, illegal aliens, houses, school, dental, health care, food, oh, they're entitled to that. But the Chicagoans who have lived there, who pay taxes, who cut their lawn, they're not entitled to water? Somehow you let this crooked-ass government sell you a product they don't own. The frick do you own the water? And then you're going to charge taxes on it? Boy, that's a great scam. How many morons are still out there buying when a Democrat says you're entitled to something?
Interim Inspector General for the City of Chicago, Tobara Richardson, says the new OIG audit looked at 6 case study accounts over a 5-year period from April 2019 through March 2024.
What we were able to find was that although some building spikes are caused by leaks, here what we saw was that buildings...
Well, whose pipe leaks? Their pipe or your pipe? Boy, that'll be fun. We'll get into property lines and everything. This is a fracking scam. Once again, to steal the money of the decent. The indecent don't pay anything. The indecent are the welfare roaches. Got me thinking, Squirrel. You remember there was a big scandal that turned the country around.
As families take care of their own, government must provide shelter and nourishment for those who cannot provide for themselves. But we must revise or replace programs enacted in the name of compassion that degrade the moral worth of work, encourage family breakups, and drive entire communities into a bleak and heartless dependency.
So he ran on welfare reform. It was a fascinating thing. And he pointed out to Chicago, a scumbag, a fraud, and a cheat.
She married 10 men across 8 states, and none of them knew. Linda Taylor scammed the welfare system, faked identities, and lived like royalty. They called her the welfare queen, but her crimes went far beyond fraud.
And then, public broadcast system, and the Chicago rat Democrat and the communists and all their communist papers in the South Loop, they said, no. This is racism. Racism. It's racism, like Danny K. Davis and his aide that just got caught stealing money from COVID. That's racism, too. It's all racism.
That you see right here in this screenshot, this is Linda Taylor. She is a biracial woman of a white mom and black father, and she actually has passed for different things. She was born in Arkansas but moved to California. She's passed for black when necessary, white when necessary, Hispanic, Filipino, and Hawaiian. She was basically used by Ronald Reagan, and Ronald Reagan used this woman's image and myth to dismantle social safety nets. He basically said a woman in Chicago stole like $1 million.
It's $8 million, stupid. But details aren't important to these idiots. And what I like is they play all the race things. I don't give a rip what color she is. Filipino, I don't care if she's got a hair lip and a club foot. She's a rat Democrat that robbed money.
When in actuality, she stole about $40,000 and was convicted of stealing less than $9,000.
All bulldung. She stole $8 million, and she pled to a Democrat judge. She had a plea deal. However, the numbers are staggering because the $8 million that they told her in welfare benefits, it didn't count the other business she had. You see, she was a crime syndicate boss.
Did you know that America's most famous welfare queen was actually running a criminal empire that made stealing government benefits look like pocket change? Linda Taylor didn't just steal welfare money. She built over 100 fake identities, each with perfect backstories, fake birth certificates, and social security numbers she memorized by heart. For more than 10 years, she fooled social workers across multiple states, stealing an estimated $8 million. But here's the shocking part. The welfare fraud was just her cover story. Police discovered Taylor was connected to missing babies and suspicious deaths of elderly people in her care. She wasn't just stealing money from the government. She was using vulnerable people to build a criminal operation that involved kidnapping, arson, and possibly murder.
Yeah, and she was the mother of the street gangs that still live in that once great city, now ghetto. 312-642-5600.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
A revolution in chip technology could make today's artificial intelligence obsolete. 3 companies are quietly building a $1 trillion triangle to develop and manufacture supercomputers the size of a dinner plate. Investment guru George Gilder has his finger on the 3 companies whose technology could change tech forever. Log on to $1,000,000,triangle.com to find out which 3 companies are working on what could be the biggest tech disruption since the internet. $1,000,000,triangle.com. That's $1,000,000,triangle.com.
Don't miss Destination Retirement with Robert Kuhn every Sunday from 11 to 12. Robert has a different way of looking at retirement from most financial advisors and is happy to share his ideas with you every week. So don't miss what he has to say on AM 560 The Answer. Destination Retirement with Robert Kuhn, Sunday mornings from 11 to 12.
Remember those old commercials that said, "Hey, you got chocolate in my